everybody is. But now, just talking about this on the radio yesterday, just remember, in February, it will feel like the heat. Okay, so, all right, if you please will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay, oh, Hitch is online with us this morning. Okay. I do not see our sergeant at arms. Would someone like to volunteer to be sergeant at arms this morning? And collect happy bucks and find some people? Oh, you are such a good guy. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Oh, probably nobody's answering. Great. Governor Chertoff.
I'm happy to have found you. I can only turn brought it and made it on turn about 3 times today. And it's just great to meet you. And the coffee.
$3 happy dollars here. Hopefully I should get more of it. No history of Chicago. But happy Julie, Governor Julie's here. Governor Margie is here, and Governor Todd, and past Governor. And I went to the Macon County Rotary Club Shrimp Fest last Saturday. Oh my gosh. I know. And it was absolutely phenomenal. They had cold shrimp for you at the table, and beverages, and then for dinner they had hot shrimp and prime rib and vegetables, and you would have loved the vegetables.
Yeah, unless they're cooked in oil or butter. Anybody else have a figure?
We give $1 for the governor and the past governor up to now, I consider legends, and now I get to meet them in person.
Ready? Ready, Charlie?
Yeah. We got the phone and he said, well, no, I said, well, keep this all. You say, look, I said, yeah, we got really one. And we when we get to the mountain, it's going off. Yes, stronger. Yeah. You were transport for us. Oh, yeah.
You forgot your time. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Carolyn. Nice to see you again. Always see you on the computer.
I don't know.
That was the short best.
We set a person's portfolio. I'm just seeing all the figures yet. We're just a hair under 50,000. Well, we had a wonderful turnout, and And then I just gotta go, because I'm glad to be here.
We're happy to have you here. There's in Cape State persons or something.
What's it saying? And then they auction making this already in Africa. Do this whole thing. And then we got this bidding, we sold it to this guy. We looked back there and we said, we have two. And it's not telling them. So we sold two of those. We sold them all. We sold the cutest. Yeah. 70 pounds, sweeter than, you can't get a lot of sugar and sweeter than Belgium. And we got $1,400. Good job.
Maybe we're getting into an incentive or something. Well, working on it. And I'm happy, here's the money on here. Add to this now. I mean, it's probably the other fund, not the same fund. And we're gonna examine the soldiers Saturday morning until we got 50, so it'll be done hopefully by 11. And then it's beach time. They got us in the beach resort, and we'll get in Friday about 1 o'clock, and that should allow some time to reconnoiter and figure out where everything is. And we start work at 6 Saturday morning and quit early. Yeah. I'm doing these things. Yeah. I was more worried because it's going to fly to St. Thomas and see 110 on Sunday. But there's only like one flight a day from St. Croix to St. Thomas, and it's 3 o'clock. And there's no way I can get 150 by like noon to be able to make a flight. So this is a little forward. Somebody else is more St. Thomas. So it's the funds out there. I'm getting out of a wedding. One of her friends from work that she worked with for 40 years, her daughter getting married. I was supposed to go to the wedding, but whole thing about the St. Croix thing. And she said, you can go.
All right, good morning, Jack. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Good morning, everyone.
Nice to see you, sir.
Well, likewise.
Mitch is joining us also, but he wasn't brave enough to show his face. You look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I don't feel bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I'm here.
All right, we're glad you're here. We have a whole jam-packed meeting today. We have our quiz at the end of the meeting. I hope you've been studying the bulletin. So good question there. Got Governor Julie is going to speak. Governor Julie has kindly agreed to induct Josh Brainerd as our newest member of the Spirit of St. Louis County Rotary Club. So
You'll be a
I
member.
think we do.
Well, okay, there you go.
Okay.
Rest is coming.
And then I just wanted
It's
to,
still-
as we learned last week, October 24th, Courtney's mom's birthday. So, oh, and we'll go get you. He was Linda Stidham. Mary Kay has gotten to know her through the CN Police Department, and she is a polio survivor. So she's going to come to us and speak to us about that, and then bring a few extra dollars because we may pass a ad around for take up a collection in her name for Polio Plus. So hopefully that'll work. And real quick, the Folio Plus Society, become a charter member, email Linda Kubauer, and you get one of these forms and sign up. Very good. Okay. Governor, stand is yours.
Margie's got a couple of things too. Don't steal your thunder. Old and new.
You know, when closing these voter citations, they're so impressive. Sometimes a year goes past and it doesn't seem like it's got the thunder and excitement anymore, but it was so important to come up and recognize your past president, Brian, who's done an excellent job putting in all the documentation for your voter citation. I mean, you guys are amazing. When you do the health check for your club definitely is 100% an A+ with all of that. You are just amazing of all the things that you've done. I mean, you've had 7 service projects. I came up into your dictionary project, so that was amazing. You participated in RILA and your foundation giving. Oh my gosh, I just can't thank you enough for all your foundation and polio giving. It's incredible. So congratulations to that. And you participate in all the activities. You do social media. You keep your information available on Facebook. You're always putting stuff in the newspaper. So just kudos and congratulations. So I just wanted to come up, like I said, and personally present Brian with his Rotary Citation Award, and just thank it's the entire club, because it's a group effort to receive this award, but someone has to put it into Rotary Club Central, and that probably was Brian out of the hand, and probably some help from David Robinette and the other developers. But just want to say congratulations, and here is your Rotary Citation Award. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You know what Rotary Central,
Don't we get to it again?
Thanks so much. This is obviously fun. Thank you.
And let the kudos continue. It is my pleasure to be with you today. I'm the district governor this year, and I feel like I'm singing to the choir, but it is so much fun to be in the choir. I am among those who have laid the groundwork, and clearly, based on Margie's comments, the infrastructure, the capacities of this club just continue to strengthen. I am eager to induct your new member. Congratulations on the growth and development of this club, because we're never standing still. We're always looking to the horizon to see how we can up our game, if you will. So one of the things that you all are going to be sort of in a maintenance pattern for is your foundation giving, because right now you are being recognized as the #1 club in the district for your giving to the foundation. Give yourself banner to you and probably to Brian, because this is a reflection of last year's giving. #1 in the district in per capita giving, but other people are being inspired by your work. So as we talk about growth and development, we'll have to continue to grow in order for you all to continue to be #1. So, okay. Thank you. And I will give this to you, Brian, and I don't know if that is an award that you actually received every year for a while, or if it's something that's new to you, but congratulations. And along that same line,
Well, was this per capita or total?
per capita, per capita.
Since 1998.
Wow.
We had 1 year, I think, where you guys went a club before being able, someone left you wanted to run the money.
which could happen in this club as well. We have opportunities. I also want to recognize you all with an award from Rotary International for your Polio Plus giving. Frequently, we find that those clubs who are incredibly generous to the Rotary Foundation in their annual fund giving sometimes forget about Polio Plus. That is not the case in this club. So thank you, thank you, thank you for continuing to help Rotary International end polio by funding the Polio Plus dimension of the Rotary Foundation. Yes, sir.
Because we're third in the district in polio. Yeah,
Yes.
we're behind. First one who has 65. Now we have 130 maybe. And here we are. Yeah, this is us.
Absolutely. Also, worthy of a applause. So keep up the great work, and your generosity is inspirational.
Would be proud to represent our district and our club when I go to Tucson in about a month now to ride in polio. There's a lot of the heavy hitters in Rotary are there enjoying it as well. So, can't wait to go do that.
Awesome.
And it's either gonna be 60 or 100. You know, I don't know. I may try that one. I was ride 100. Come back to a ghost town. Where do you go?
So when you're in for the social as well,
Oh,
Rod, what is that?
Rotary Social.
Yeah.
I might know. I think about it. John usually does 100, Martin does 35 or 40 or something like that. We all ride with the Rotary leaders on Friday morning too. We have time to,
Just a warm up.
and got a name drop shirt kid. Last year, Martin said, "Oh, come on to John." I said, "Okay." So it's pretty hot lunch. But they have their own. Anyway, they think highly of our local club.
Well, and your little club is becoming a larger club because the more Rotarians we have, the larger the impact in society and the ripple effect. I am absolutely overwhelmed by a $50,000 fundraiser that has such an impact on our capacity to end polio. Pardon me. Yeah, make it. Yes, yeah.
Very long term on that.
Okay.
And I found out Ray claims his hometown.
She's from Macon, not Bristol.
He's in. Yes, they went to school. Love it, and they went to it. He sort of abandoned it.
Yeah, yeah. I lived in Macon for a couple of years and loved every hour. So, so it is my pleasure to be with you this morning, and I am trying to remember that we are all people, even though I have those who have come before me in my presence today, and theoretically those who will come after in terms of leading our organization and its continued greatness around the world in having an impact and feeding the good. I've only been a Rotarian for about 10 years. And I was in Winsville yesterday on my Imagine Rotary tour, which has been so much fun. And I was with the person who served as club president at the same time that I did. And he's about 10 years younger than I am, and we're in different seasons of life. And he said, you know, your Rotary career has gone like this. And I'm right here. And I said, just wait till your kids get to college, and then you're going to have these opportunities. I have absolutely grown as a human being as a result of my engagement with Rotary. And part of our Rotary vision is that we have an impact in the world, we have an impact in our community, but it also, we allow ourselves to grow and develop as human beings. And I think that's an important part. I love the opportunity to be able to really get better as a human being. And I think that that is the secret sauce. Dave Robinette has taught me things that I never knew I wanted to learn. But I'm better for having gone through the gauntlet as a result. I have learned from so many of you in this room. Well, I guess I can.
The meeting is now over. We will end it. Thank you for joining us.
As a prospective member, featured Keach Wadman, who ultimately became a district governor, and she talked about going to just having been to Niger, Africa, where she had dedicated a water well. And she talked about Rotary's work in terms of bringing clean water to those who didn't have access in the world. And I was just sitting wide-eyed. A wide-eyed experience for me, and I said, wow, that's interesting. I think I want to be a part of that. And then the next part of the meeting, I was in Hannibal, Missouri at the time. The next part of the meeting featured people making announcements about what's going on in their community and in their own nonprofits and in their own corporations. And I worked in healthcare for 31 years as an executive until March of 2020. But at the time, I was like, I can learn more about what's happening in the community and have my finger on the pulse of where those touch points might be by sitting here for an hour. I'm like, I really want to be a Rotarian. So fortunately, after being a prospective member, I joined Rotary. And within 2 years, I found myself in Togo, Africa, where I was able to be on the ground delivering immunizations, and I learned all about our polio project. It's absolutely just incredible. And then I got to build a school, and I got to learn about global grant projects because we did some other things that were interesting. I shared a post yesterday that it was just remarkable to me that it was actually 9 years ago. I love that feature of Facebook because you remember where you've been on that day. And I was actually in a remote village in Africa singing with small African children 9 years ago yesterday, and just a remarkable life-changing experience. And for me, I had traveled extensively. I've been very blessed in my life. I had been to Japan and China. I've spent time in Europe. I've done all kinds of things, but going to Africa was my first world country. And what an incredible reality check. I always knew I was a blessed human being. When I was actually standing next to a smiling mother who could not have been more joyful, lived in a shanty in a third world village, all of a sudden, my world became a lot larger. And my sense of my blessings and the gratitude that I needed to have expanded tremendously through that one trip. Well, right after I got home, I found out, because I was so on fire about Rotary, I found out that my cousin was Rotarian, and he had actually been going to the country of Guatemala for the last 5 years, working in partnership on a global grant in Guatemala. So about 6 months later, I was in Guatemala, and I got to be feet on the ground there. And once again, I met 4 Rotarians whose hearts were on fire for serving them. And I began to have that burning desire to go deeper into Rotary and to learn more and to identify what does it look like to really serve humanity in the way those Rotarians who have come before me are really doing. So I began to get a taste of that. And I met some people from the district, because I was elected as president because I was so enthusiastic. I knew virtually nothing other than we were active in all around the world. So I go to Show Me Rotary and I discover that Rotary clubs are a part of districts. Wow, we're in a district. Oh, Show Me Rotary, there are 3 districts. Oh, districts are connected and they're within zones. That's how we actually relate to one another. And oh, there are roles, there are volunteers. I didn't realize we were almost 100% volunteer organization until I attended Show Me Rotary. So One of the beautiful things is I would almost recommend that those who are new to Rotary just jump in with both feet, because you're going to make some mistakes along the way. But you know what? We're humans and we're going to make mistakes, even if you're the most experienced. So jump in and enjoy Rotary in a way that makes sense to you. I loved my experience as an assistant. I learned so much along the way, and I was able to bring some of the new insights from the district to those clubs that I had the opportunity to meet with. We would get together for coffee once a quarter as club presidents and nurture the success of those clubs. I was fairly enthusiastic until I met Jerry Nolan. Jerry Nolan, who's president of this club, who's an assistant governor, who's our district governor nominee. We just need to continue to make sure his enthusiasm is sustainable, and it will be. He is having so many experiences, and that's the way we really learn, is we participate with other Rotarians. Tom, have you learned anything in your conversations with John Bucco?
I've got to write it, well, I'm probably. And everyone I met there are so dedicated to working there. I've ever met them. In somewhere in remote areas, suburbs of Chicago, or Chicago. It's a pleasure running right with one staff members. Many Chicago, Chicago Lincoln. I tell people about her Texas, and in about 2 minutes, she walks in, the restaurant we all at, is right there. Just for a small, the road here can't be big, but it can be very small. The staffers are very dedicated.
We're going to talk about friendship in just a second. So that's a perfect tie-in. But I want to shift to one of the perks of being district governor. You get to go to what's called International Assembly. And it is in Florida, and it's an opportunity for you to actually go to a warm climate when it's not so warm in January in Missouri. And so I was really excited after I had gone through 3 years of preparation to be the district governor, and I'm going to get to go to International Assembly. And for the 3rd year in a row, International Assembly was online and via Zoom. I would have Tom and Margie, their experiences were similar. But by the time they had done the International Assembly, which is your district governor training for the 3rd time virtually, they had it down pat. I had this incredible experience, and I thought I had been imagining Rotary and imagining this year until I went to International Assembly. And I was in conversations in small groups with other district governors from countries throughout the world. One stands out in my mind. When I was in a small group talking about peace building, I was with the governor of the Rotary clubs in Israel. And that Rotary governor, I almost get emotional thinking about it. He said, one of the things that I really want to do is he says, I want to encourage my clubs. And there's one district in the entire country of Israel. I want to encourage all of my clubs to invite Palestinians to be Rotarians. He said, all of our clubs are almost 100% Jewish. And he said, if we're really going to embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion, as our Rotary International president is inviting us to embrace, we need to think about the fact that we are a divided country and have been for centuries. I happen to have been in a Bible study at the time, and we were studying the Old Testament, and I'm like, wow, this is an uphill climb. Building peace by inviting people that are different than you to sit beside you and to nurture that appreciation of humanity that we all share. And I'm thinking the impact on the world could be transformational for the world as he is successful over time, over certainly the year he's governor, but into the future. We don't just have the opportunity to lead for 1 year in Rotary. We create this momentum around possibility. And then we share that torch with others. And if this club isn't an illustration of that. But at International Assembly, I really got to know our Rotary International President, Jennifer Jones, who we are so blessed in the state of Missouri. Many of us have personal relationships with Jennifer Jones because she has given up herself and attended our Show Me Rotary on so many occasions. And it is awesome to be the district governor during the year in which our Rotary International President is a female for the first time. But Jennifer Jones just happens to be a female. She is just an incredible communicator and an incredible leader. She sets the tone that enables all of us to get better every day as we imagine Rotary. That is our theme this year. And when I heard her talk about Imagine Rotary, all of a sudden my level of enthusiasm, which is generally pretty high to begin with, just went up exponentially. So what I'd like you to do today and for the rest of this year is to imagine your Rotary Club. Imagine your Rotary life. Imagine Rotary and the impact and influence that you will have. And as you shine your light as a Rotarian, imagine the changes that you can actually be able to influence in the world. Imagine Rotary. As I traveled around sharing the message of Rotary, as Rotary International's ambassador to each one of our clubs, which, as I indicated, has just been a ball. What a gift to get to experience on the ground Rotarians up and down the Mississippi in our district. It's been awesome. But I've been sharing a story, and I'd like to share that with you this morning. And please just be patient if you've heard the story. It's not original to me, but in my mind, it actually exemplifies the opportunity that we have. Just imagine a starry night, and an old Indian chief is sitting by a beautiful bonfire, a fire with his grandson, and he's talking to his grandson and having a moment with his grandson. You'll notice on my card there introducing me, I have my grandchildren with me. And I need to point that out because several people have thought that, you know, I'm pretty enthusiastic. I'm not that. My grandchildren, not my children. But it's a starry night and he's having one of those wonderful moments of connection. And he looks down at his grandson and he said, grandson, within each one of us are two wolves fighting one another. One wolf is jealousy and greed and ugliness and incivility and judgment and all the evil in the world. And that wolf is fighting. The other wolf is joy and compassion and goodness and all of the good that exists within each one of us and in the world. He said there's a fight going on within the hearts of each one of us and within the world. And so as that little boy is imagining that fierce quarrel, that fight between those two wolves in his own chest and in the world, he looks up with big saucer eyes and asks his grandfather, grandfather, which one? And the grandfather looks down quietly to his the one. So within each one of us and within the world, there are forces of good and evil. Our role as Rotarians is to feed the good. Feed the good in our conversations, feed the good in our projects, feed the good in our relationships that we have all around the world and one-on-one. feeding the good. At the district level this year, we have 5 priorities. And as you all well know, these are just opportunities for us to coalesce and actually create a larger tidal wave. Rotary is a grassroots organization. We are only as good as individual Rotarians and the clubs in which they find themselves or they migrate toward. We are a grassroots organization, not a top-down organization. So as I bring you a message from the district, please hear these as themes for your consideration. Number 1, Tom's already mentioned it, build better friendships. As we are intentional in our efforts to build better friendships, we enjoy Rotary more. We don't mind going to projects. We don't mind showing up at 7 o'clock in the morning. We don't mind doing things because it's a part of the joy of our lives in being with our friends. So in nurturing those friendships, Jennifer Jones has invited us to really think about our club experiences, to make sure that we are welcoming and hospitable. And are we doing what we need to do to really help and enhance our brothers and sisters' ability to feel a part of Rotary in a meaningful way. So build better friendships. Secondly, leading with passion. You are such an illustration of taking that to an exponential level. But each one of us, in whatever our passion might be, has the opportunity to lead and influence. I mentioned the vision that we have at Rotary International, with which some clubs are not familiar with. So I want to share that with you really quickly. As we lead, we have vision and we have influence. Our vision is together. We see a world where people unite, take action. Josh, taking action. We're not just dreaming, we're translating it into action to create lasting change, not fleeting change, real impact across the globe, in our communities, in ourselves. That is powerful. So lead with passion. 3rd priority, telling the story. We're really great, almost universally, at giving of ourselves. What we're not great about sometimes is telling our stories. So do you guys remember, some of you may have gone to Sunday school growing up. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And if you haven't heard that song, the 2nd verse is, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Open our voice more in the mornings, I mean. But it's about shining our light and our obligation to shine that light to others so that we can warm up the world. I ran into a poem that I've been sharing that really speaks to me and brings this home. It's called Our Deepest Fear. Does anybody remember the movie Coach Carter? Samuel L. Jackson, and he goes into a socioeconomically disadvantaged neighborhood, and he's a basketball coach. And there's a little boy, and they systematically introduce the opportunity to shine your light. And he memorizes this poem, Our Deepest Fear by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. She goes on to say, we are all meant to shine as children do. And as we let our own light shine, this is the important part from my management. We unconsciously give other people permission. As we are liberated from our own fears, whatever they might be, public speaking, jumping into a service project, just showing up, becoming the next big shrimp, whatever that fear is. She goes on to say, as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So this year, as you're imagining Rotary, think about what it means to shine your light. 4th priority, being peace builders. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. You all are familiar with our peace centers. You know that each one of us is an agent of peace as a Rotarian. So think about what that means for you. Think about what that means for this club. How will you shine a light of peace and be that agent of peace in the coming year? Final priority, ending polio now. When I went to International Assembly, I thought this was gonna be the year and I was gonna get to be the district governor who was gonna make history. Well, not make history, but be a significant part of history, and I would be celebrating it every 10 years. We would celebrate. Well, it turns out, not only are we not going to end polio and make history this year, we have some new challenges because polio is now in the United States. So I admire and appreciate, and I'm inspired by your dedication to giving to Polio Plus. That remains the #1 thing that we have as an action point to actually make a difference in this fight to end polio. We are starting, as Jerry mentioned earlier, on Monday, you will begin to hear lots of communication about the Polio Plus Society. That is a dedicated commitment within our district to giving at least $100 every year as an individual donor to the Polio Plus Fund until polio is eradicated. If you're a charter member, we're going to celebrate you. We're trying to achieve at least 100 charter members within the first 6 months, or actually within the first 3 months of launching the Polio Plus Society. So we're making a full court press, and Tom will tell you more about that and keep you posted on that. The other thing that I want to alert you to, probably in a couple of weeks, we have a team who is working on a comprehensive action plan for our district to support clubs and actually helping to address vaccination and elevating awareness of the risk of polio so that we can make sure that we mitigate the risk of children within our district contracting polio as we find it potentially spreading in the United States. So more to come on that. So we will be doing some things very specifically in that realm. So 5 priorities that we have that we're paying attention to among other opportunities. But what's most important for you today, I want you to imagine your Rotary life. We have 7 areas of focus. We have lots of district roles. We have lots of community projects in which you might find a passion for. Discover your passion. Jump in with both feet. Let your enthusiasm for serving others be transformative for you. And we all know that when we give, we receive tenfold. We are better, and we are ultimately the beneficiaries. Then we get over our fears and begin to shine our lights, to imagine Rotary and feed it. Thank you for letting me be with you today. You know what?
2.3 million. 2.3. What did? Billion. 2.3 billion. Oh, yeah. We can match that in 6. Oh, wait, never mind. No. Nice try. Or induce him or something. So what year do you want to be president? What can we sign you up for? I mean, you know.
We're in the need of assistant district governor, or district governor nominee.
Josh, we are so excited about you joining Rotary. You've been chosen to be a part of this Rotary family, and you've chosen Rotary. Share your hands and your heart. The Rotary organization, in the spirit of St. Louis Rotary Club, has a long and amazing history. You've heard just a little bit about it. We're continuously innovating and becoming relevant in our changing environment, which is so incredible. We invite, and I'm saying we, as if I'm a part of the Spirit of St. Louis Club, because we're all brothers and sisters in Rotary, and that's one of the most remarkable ingredients in this organization. We invite you not only to participate wholly in serving, but we invite you to provide feedback on how the club can be better, because your voice as a new member will be incredibly important. You are strongly encouraged to consult with your sponsor, who is,
It would be me.
oh, look out. You're gonna learn something. There is a great deal about this very large organization, and we want you to regularly learn about areas that could be of particular interest to you, because matching passions with the club's aspirations is the sweet sauce of Rotary. We are very flexible in our approach and want your regular feedback, fellowship, networking, and getting engaged in the leadership of the club. Here you go. Is available to you when you're ready. You are welcome to attend any local or international Rotary club, which is also another big perk of being in Rotary, is being able to experience other clubs and to see how uniquely people are doing Rotary around the region. You've already gotten a taste for that. You will learn about our guiding principles, our vision, and our 4-way test, which embodies our culture and is a guiding light in our activities. Josh, you've been invited to join us in this journey, and we want to help you identify your passions and areas of interest. We believe you're a great fit for this club, and we want to enthusiastically welcome you to the Rotary Club of Spirit of St. Louis. Fellow Rotarians, please welcome Josh to our panel.
Thank you. I'll keep this brief. I just want to thank everybody for being very welcoming and understanding. I've joined a couple of clubs over my life and been in some organizations, but it's been really nice to see everybody just coming over, saying hello, helping me where I can and explain, just bits and pieces of this organization. So thank you. Very excited to join and looking forward to the future.
Yes, there are 2 pins if you, a magnet pin that you can wear and a rotary pin. And I know Governor Julie brought the other pin. So my wife says the only reason I joined Rotary was to get more pins. It's not true. My boss told me I had to join. But then I discovered something called RILA, and I became a Rotarian. So that's the passion that what Julie is talking about. That's the passion. We'll be talking to you about what is something that is your passion. Speaking of passions, Dave, could you put up those?
I can, and then whoops, let's do it the other way, Dave.
Speaking of passions, CAP grant has not officially been completed yet because these 2 photographs that you're going to see have not been published, but maybe we're going to
There we go.
Okay.
Helps if I pick the right one.
Yes, it does. So,
However, I need to quit sharing that. Or maybe, there we
there
go.
we go.
Yeah, I know. Always keep my fingers crossed when you go live.
So this was they got the books quite a while ago. The books that our club with the district grant were Spanish language books. And if you can see this one right here, Charlotte's Web. It is a classic. And this is me taking a picture yesterday with the Marvin School ELL teachers, the young lady and the gentleman and their assistant principal. The principal was busy. So just a real quick tie-in here. Liz Harbers is the ELL teacher. She was one of my 7th grade science students. So it was absolutely wonderful. This is a presentation at Cracks with another one of my former 7th grade students and my daughter, who's the librarian at Cracks. the building principal and the EL teacher, who this young lady right here is the one that came up with the idea. I said, what can you guys use? So my daughter talked to the EL teacher, and it's just, the kids are just enamored with those books. They can't keep them. I talked with Liz. She said the kids will come in and grab a book, even though they can't read it, because it's above their reading level, even in Spanish. What they're hoping is that they're taking them home and parents can read to them in their native language. So that's our impact, 178 books, I believe. So we're touching a lot of lives. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit and watch, because it'll be showing up on Facebook soon. Also, service projects. I got some good news. We've finally got some movement with the food pantry. They wanted us there this morning to unpack, and I said some groceries. And I said, well, unfortunately, we're stacked. And in my original email, I said in November. So they're going to get back to us. I have gotten a phone call from the county. So we've got a little movement there. So we're probably going to be moving some of our meetings to off-campus sites and start doing again, because that's what a lot of you have asked to do. Start doing it again. So,
Fresh picked up with them. They have a training session
yes,
and they'll get some vests.
some vests and safety signs.
Yeah.
And yes.
I'll
So
try to teach you how not to get it.
yes, yes, exactly. Yes, ma'am. That's, we're still in the board. We're gonna we'll have test sessions with the food pantry, and then we may have to change our whole structure of how we operate and meet once a month or meet twice a month. Do service projects, sometimes a couple of times a month. So
I didn't know if you wanted to contact and see if we can do it on Wednesday mornings or.
yeah, so we'll talk. Yes, sir. Dan.
I know that we're doing the street cleanup purely altruistic reasons, but I'm real big on PR. So, yes, they give you like the orange vests, but I'd like to remind everybody that Rotary has the neon vests that say Rotarian work on the back. And that's what we should be wearing.
Absolutely. So people see that. Plus, they will install a sign. And I know the street, and I'm going to keep it a secret for a little while. Yeah. So we actually have something to do. I'll go by the street and just throw out my cups and stuff.
Jerry?
So, yes, ma'am.
Has your club decided to participate in the district competition to
Oh,
raise
You
food?
know what? I have not talked about that. That was,
It's a simple action project.
and what it is, it's a district-wide food drive competition. So I will gather more information and bring that to you next week. So
Thanks,
I'm
Tom.
kind of waiting for the board to officially say, yes, we're going to do that. Board, can we do that? Okay, sure. All right, good. We do have two, for reminder, October 24th, World Polio Day. Program next week, my polio story. We do have a 50-50 drawing. I see that Dr. Lindley is drawing the winning ticket. Oh, Ruth wants one too.
Can I add
Yes,
one
sir.
real quick thing? This, yesterday I posted a picture. Yesterday I posted a picture of a wine bottle of Chardonnay that I got back a number of years ago. District governor of one of the other districts, and it was for End Polio Now. And I said I was planning to open it. I didn't say drink it because I'm not sure what it would taste like. But when we finished polio, I said, looks like it won't be this year. Todd reminded me when you mentioned Larry Lunsford, he replied to it. He said their realistic goal is end of next year, end of 23, according to what Larry Lunsford has said that they believe is going to happen. All I can go on is what I was told. That I don't know.
Reason, I don't know.
That I don't know. And it might, and some, right. So it's like when you have anything else, your delivery is not, it's really hinged on that, what they call the last mile. It's getting it from the distribution center to your house or getting it from the post office to your location. In this case, it's that last mile that's going to be the hardest part. And COVID obviously did not help. No, the whiskey won't, but I think the wine is going to be vinegar.
This year is so. Show that mistakes happen everywhere. And we just deal with the cheap food. Got to put it on the stage. But there's water. They said. Do that water. You think he spelled four of them?
Yeah.
But you want to do this first? Okay, I've got to grab my notes because, as you know, people don't like to read the bulletin very often. I do. These, although today I will tell you, I'm not completely. I'll say it again. As those that are unused that I've gotten from Show Me Rotary. So they're vintage. Well, yes. They're vintage. They're not yet antique. But today I have a choice of 4 prizes. And I've already numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And let's see. Some of you may not want one of them, so I'll give you a second choice. But the question of the week is, what's going to happen on November the 7th? Oh, news.
So you had it.
Very good. Excellent. Well, that's fantastic. Unfortunately, I won't be here. I'll be in Florida. But I'm sure Andy is still working.
It will be 75 degrees and sunny at 6 o'clock. I get her. Woodson. In other words, your bulletin editor is an idiot, but you know, somebody can.
So. Wallet. Oh, this may be a little different from yours. And it pops out. Wonderful little stand. So. These. All right. With us today and celebrating some things, so appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen,
Do you want the 4-way test up or not?
yes. It's agenda. So we will finish with the 4-way test. The 4-way test of the things we think say or do, please say it with me. Is it the truth? Is it fair to the officer? Like Bill, their patients, will it be beneficial to all? Thank you. Go out, imagine Rotary, and do good in the world. There we go. Helps them to get in.
Take care, Jack.